So I want you to imagine this. It is maybe 8 o'clock at night. You are right in the middle of cooking dinner, or maybe you're just, settling in for a movie.
Right, you're comfortable, you don't want to move.
Exactly. And then you realize you are missing something crucial, like a specific spice for the curry you're making, or you just have this intense, undeniable craving for, I don't know, a very specific brand of chips.
We've all been there, yeah.
Right. And in the past, that meant stopping everything. You have to turn off the stove, get your shoes on, drive to the store, wait in line. But today, you pull out your phone, tap a screen a few times, and before you have even finished prepping your other ingredients, there is a knock at your door.
Less than 10 minutes later.
Less than 10 minutes. It's basically teleportation.
It really is. And, it alters consumer psychology completely.
How so?
Well, when the gap between wanting something and actually having it shrinks to 10 minutes, impulse buying it stops feeling like a disruption. It starts feeling like a reflex.
A reflex?
Yeah. We are moving from a world where 2-day shipping was considered an absolute marvel to a reality where waiting 12 minutes for groceries feels sluggish.
It's wild to even think about. And today, in this deep dive, we're going to look at the exact machinery behind that reflex.
Mm-hmm.
We are pulling back the curtain on this explosive revolution of what's called quick commerce.
Right. And it's a massive revolution.
It is. And our mission today, based on our source material, isn't just to look at how major corporations are pulling off these seemingly impossible delivery times. We're actually looking at a literal blueprint.
A blueprint for everyday entrepreneurs.
Exactly. We're going to explore how independent business owners are buying pre-built software, essentially a Zepto clone, to launch their own instant delivery empires.
Which is just a complete paradigm shift in retail logistics. The barrier to entry for hyper-local delivery used to be hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right. You needed a massive venture capital fund just to get started.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now the underlying technology has been commoditized to the point where an independent business owner can just purchase the digital infrastructure right off the shelf.
It's insane. So, to our listener, whether you are an entrepreneur hunting for that next massive market opportunity, or you're just, a curious consumer sitting at home wondering how on earth your groceries arrive faster than a pizza, we are going to decode this entire operation.
And to do that, we really have to start with the undisputed king of this 10-minute magic trick.
Zepto.
Right. To understand the current landscape of quick commerce, Zepto is the absolute baseline. The company's trajectory is almost as fast as its delivery times.
Yeah, let's get into their origins.
Yeah.
Because they haven't actually been around that long, right?
Not at all. They launched in July 2021, founded by Adit Palicha and Kaivalya Vora.
And wait, they originally started under a different name, didn't they? Kirana.
They did, yeah. The Kirana Cart model was initially about partnering with existing local mom-and-pop grocery stores, the Kiranas.
Okay, so like a traditional delivery app. You order, they go to a local store, pick it up, and bring it to you.
Right, but they quickly realized that relying on third-party inventory and dealing with random store layouts made a 10-minute guarantee completely impossible.
Oh, because the rider's just wandering around a normal grocery store looking for a specific brand of peanut butter.
Exactly. It wastes too much time. So they did a strategic pivot, they rebranded to Zepto, and they took complete control of their own inventory.
And the growth since that pivot has just been staggering.
Oh, absolutely. We are looking at a company that rapidly hit a valuation of roughly $900 million.
$900 million.
Yeah. And by the financial year 2024, their operating revenue crossed 44 billion Indian rupees.
Okay, let's unpack this, because a $900 million valuation in just a couple of years is wild. But to me, the physical footprint is even wilder.
The dark stores.
Yes. By mid-2025, they are projected to operate 1,100 active dark stores spread across 35 different cities. And I always try to visualize a dark store like a theater's backstage prop room.
Oh, that's an interesting way to look at it.
Right. Like it's hidden away, the public never actually sees it. And it's designed specifically so the actors, in this case, the delivery riders, can dash in, grab the exact prop they need off a shelf, and get out instantly.
Well, visually, that makes sense. It's a hidden warehouse. But operationally, it's actually much closer to a high-frequency trading floor.
Wait, really? How so?
Because a prop room is static, right? The sort is always on the same shelf.
Mm.
But a dark store is constantly shifting based on predictive AI.
Oh, I see. So it adapts.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
items aren't just sitting there passively. Their placement is dictated by real-time data.
Give me an example. Like, how does data change where a bag of chips sits?
Okay, so imagine the algorithm detects a sudden drop in temperature and rain in a specific 2-mile radius. It doesn't just route the riders to deal with the weather. It actually tells the dark store staff to physically move umbrellas, hot chocolate, comfort foods right to the front packing stations.
Before the orders even come in?
Before the orders even come in, it anticipates the demand.
Wow. Okay, that completely changes the picture.
Yeah.
But even with predictive packing, say the hot chocolate is ready by the door, I'm still stuck on the physical reality of the roads.
The 10-minute limit.
Yeah, 10 minutes still seems physically impossible once the rider actually gets on a bike, at least, without completely breaking every traffic law in the city. How are they shaving off those minutes safely?
Well, what's fascinating here is that the secret weapon isn't reckless speed on the road. It's hyper-efficiency in the software.
Okay, explain that.
The physical dark stores, they are really just nodes. The AI algorithm is the actual brain. So when you tap that order button on your phone, Zepto's system instantly calculates the nearest perfectly stocked dark store.
So it's not just the closest store, it's the closest one that actually has your specific chips in stock.
Exactly. But it doesn't stop there. It batches orders going to the same apartment complex. It calculates the optimal route block by block, specifically avoiding known traffic bottlenecks.
Oh, wow.
And then it assigns the order to a rider who is already moving in the right direction.
So the speed is won by eliminating hesitation and idle time, not by asking, a teenager on a scooter to run red lights.
Right. It is an incredibly high-level operations game played in milliseconds, and they pair this logistical supremacy with relentless marketing.
Like the zero delivery charges.
Yes. They bombard the market with campaigns highlighting zero delivery charges, and they heavily leverage influencer marketing.
They want you to associate the word instant with their brand.
Exactly. Total mental association. When you think instant, they want you to think Zepto.
And clearly, it is working. But you don't build a massive operation generating billions of rupees without painting a giant target on your back.
Oh, absolutely not.
Which brings us to the quick commerce battlefield of 2024, because it is incredibly cutthroat right now.
It is a total bloodbath for market dominance. I mean, Zepto proved the model worked, but now they are fighting against players with massive war chests.
Right, like Swiggy Instamart, Big Basket, Blinkit.
Yeah, Blinkit, which actually rebranded from Grofers. And Dunzo is in there too, though it's worth noting from our sources that Dunzo is currently struggling with severe sustainability issues in this segment.
Why is Dunzo struggling? Is it just too expensive to maintain?
Basically, yeah. Maintaining a 10-minute promise requires flawless execution and incredibly deep pockets. If there is any friction in your supply chain, the market abandons you instantly.
Well, let's actually look at the 2024 landscape, because the numbers here reveal a really strange story.
Market share numbers.
Yeah. Here's where it gets really interesting. If we look at market share, Blinkit is dominating. They hold a 46% market share.
Right. Almost half the market.
They operate 719 dark stores across 44 cities, and they are pulling in about 2,300 crore INR in revenue. And just for context for our listeners, 1 crore is 10 million rupees, so 2,300 crore is roughly 275 million US dollars.
Okay, so that's Blinkit. But then you look at Zepto.
Right.
Zepto only holds a 29% market share. They have 650 dark stores in 35 cities. But their revenue for FY24 is 4,454 crore INR.
Which is over $500 million.
Exactly. And just to round out the top three, Swiggy Instamart sits in third with a 24% share, 609 dark stores, and 1,100 crore INR.
Okay, but wait. I am completely stuck on the math here.
It doesn't seem to add up, right?
Not at all. Blinkit has nearly doubled Zepto's market share, 46% compared to Zepto's 29%, but Zepto is making almost double the revenue.
Yep. 4,454 crore compared to 2,300.
How does that math work? If you have fewer customers and fewer stores, how on earth are you doubling the revenue of the market leader? Are they just charging insane hidden fees on the delivery?
Well, if we connect this to the bigger picture, it actually completely redefines how success is measured in this industry. Market share is really just a vanity metric if you can't monetize the user.
Okay, so how are they monetizing them if not with hidden fees?
Zepto's revenue is coming from an incredibly aggressive, multi-layered monetization strategy. They don't just rely on a flat delivery charge. First, they operate on a strict commission-based model with their suppliers.
Meaning they take a cut of the actual grocery.
Exactly. They take a 2 to 4% cut on the items sold, and when you push massive daily volume, that 4% compounds into millions.
So they're making money on the margin of the groceries themselves, not just the transportation of them.
Precisely. But the real revenue engine, the thing that pushes them over $500 million, is their subscription service.
Oh, of course, subscriptions.
Yeah, they recognized early on that acquiring a one-off customer is expensive. But by implementing a subscription model where users pay a monthly fee for free deliveries and exclusive discounts, they fundamentally change customer behavior.
Because if I'm paying a monthly fee for Zepto, I'm going to make sure I use it.
Exactly. Once a user subscribes to Zepto, they delete Blinkit and Swiggy from their phone. They consolidate all their impulse buys to one single app.
Which skyrockets their customer lifetime value.
Exactly. It creates a predictable, recurring revenue stream. Add in the massive funding rounds they've secured to rapidly scale their unit economics, and they simply extract more dollars per order than anyone else.
Wow. So grabbing market share is just step one. Extracting the value is the actual business.
Right.
And seeing this kind of revenue, $500 million generated by hyper-local 10-minute logistics, I mean, it makes it incredibly obvious why entrepreneurs are desperate to get into this space.
The unit economics, once they are optimized, are highly lucrative. But as we mentioned earlier, building the underlying technology to manage all this, the inventory, the AI routing, the real-time rider tracking it, requires tens of millions of dollars in venture capital.
And years of software development.
Exactly.
Which is exactly why the market has adapted. Because most people don't have hundreds of millions in venture capital sitting around. So a new solution has emerged, the Zepto-cloneapp.
Right, and this completely democratizes the digital side of the delivery model.
Let's define what a clone app actually is.
Sure. A clone app is a pre-built, customizable software architecture that basically replicates the core functionality of a giant like Zepto.
So you aren't writing code from scratch.
Exactly. You are purchasing ready-to-use infrastructure. And the cost difference is staggering. While Zepto spent fortunes on custom code, an entrepreneur can buy a fully functional clone for anywhere between $10,000 and $50,000.
Depending on the features, I assume. And maybe where the developers are based, like North America versus Asia.
Yes, exactly. Development costs vary by region, and how fast you want it launched affects the price too.
Got it. I kind of think of it like buying a high-end modular home instead of hiring an architect to design a mansion from scratch.
That's a great analogy.
Right, because the structural engineering is already done, the wiring is in the walls, the plumbing works. You're really just paying to customize the exterior, paint the walls, and slap your branding on it.
And it gives you a massively faster time to market.
Hold on, I have to push back a little here. Because isn't calling it a clone a bit of a trap?
How do you mean?
Well, if I drop 50 grand on this app, I don't magically spawn a network of 650 perfectly stocked warehouses. I'm literally just buying code.
Yeah, this raises an incredibly important question, and honestly, it is the biggest trap new entrepreneurs fall into.
Right, because it sounds like a business in a box, but it's not.
No, it's not. You are buying software, not a supply chain. The clone app solely handles the digital logistics.
The order processing, the payments.
Exactly. Payment gateways, rider routing. But the physical reality of the business, that is still entirely on your shoulders.
You still have to do the heavy lifting in the real world.
Right. You have to lease commercial real estate for your dark stores, which means navigating local zoning laws to place a warehouse in a dense residential neighborhood.
Oh, right, because you can't just put a commercial warehouse anywhere.
No, you can't. And then you have to actually source the inventory, manage cold chain storage if you're selling perishables, and hire an entire fleet of delivery riders.
The app doesn't put the milk on the shelf. And it certainly doesn't ride the motorcycle in the rain.
It doesn't. And maybe more importantly, the app doesn't give you brand equity.
What do you mean by that?
Well, Zepto is a household name now. When an entrepreneur launches a clone, they are completely unknown. So to survive against these established titans, the absolute most critical element is establishing a unique selling proposition, a USP.
Because you cannot just launch a generic grocery app and expect to win.
Right. If you just sell standard chips and soda, the consumer will just use the Zepto app they already have installed. Why would they download yours?
Yeah, that makes sense. So what kind of USP works in this space?
You have to exploit a gap in the market. Maybe your USP is ultra-local, artisanal bakery items. or farm-to-table organic produce that the big dark stores don't carry because it doesn't scale for them.
Oh, I love that.
Or perhaps you target a very specific high-density suburb that the major players have ignored because it falls just outside their 10-minute radius.
So the software is just the engine, but your local market knowledge is what actually steers the business.
Yes.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. You use the cheap modular software to deliver a highly specific local product. But, to truly understand why this pre-built code is worth up to $50,000, we really need to look under the hood.
The tech stack.
Yeah, because when you buy a clone, you aren't just getting one app that a customer downloads from the App Store. You're actually buying a complex ecosystem of 4 distinct systems.
It is incredibly complex. To pull off a 10-minute delivery, you need 4 separate applications constantly talking to each other in real time.
Let's break those down. What's the first one?
First is the customer app. This is the storefront.
The one on my phone.
Exactly. It requires a seamless user interface with advanced search, live tracking on a map, and crucially, real-time inventory updates.
Right, so someone doesn't buy a product that just sold out 2 seconds ago.
Exactly, and usually a live chat function for support. Then second, you have the grocery store app.
Okay, where does this one live?
This is the tablet sitting inside the physical dark store. It manages the inbound orders, tracks inventory depletion, triggers restocking alerts, and generates daily earnings reports for the store manager.
Okay, so that's the consumer finding the item on app 1 and the store confirming they have it on app 2.
Right. Third is the rider app. This is installed on the delivery driver's phone.
Okay.
This handles the GPS route optimization, allows the rider to accept or reject pings, manages their in-app wallet for payouts, and captures digital proof of delivery.
Like when they take a photo of the bag at my door.
Exactly. And finally, the fourth component is the admin panel.
The boss's app.
Right, the master dashboard for the business owner. It monitors the entire network, handles payment processing across all apps, and manages customer data and dispute resolution.
Wow. So all 4 of these, the customer, the store, the rider, and the admin, they have to synchronize perfectly.
Flawless.
I mean, it's like a symphony orchestra. If the rider app is slightly out of sync with the store app, the whole 10-minute promise falls apart completely. So what does this all mean for the tech stack? The technology required to keep them in sync sounds heavy. Our sources mention front-end frameworks like React, Vue, or Angular, and back-end environments like Node.js, Django, or Ruby on Rails.
Right, those are industry standards.
But for anyone not deeply entrenched in software development, how do these pieces actually fit together?
Well, think of these 4 apps less like separate programs and more like a single biological nervous system.
Okay.
The front-end frameworks like React or Vue, they are like the skin in the face. They create the smooth, interactive interface the user actually touches.
The pretty part.
Right. The back-end Node.js or Django acts as the internal organs, processing the heavy logic, managing the databases, handling thousands of concurrent GPS pings. But the most crucial part of this whole system is the RESTful API.
Okay, what is the API in this nervous system analogy?
The API is the nerve connecting everything together.
Okay, explain that a bit more.
An API application programming interface is essentially a digital messenger that operates at light speed. When a user texts buy on the customer app, the API instantly fires a message to the store app to lock that item so nobody else can buy it.
Oh, I see.
And it simultaneously fires a message to the rider app to find the closest driver and pings the admin panel to authorize the credit card.
All in the same second.
Exactly. If that ATI nerve has even a 2-second delay, the rider misses the ping, the inventory gets double booked, the muscle doesn't fire in time, and the 10-minute promise is dead.
Which brings up a very practical hurdle for me.
What's that?
If I am an entrepreneur and I'm looking at this massive nervous system, React, Node.js, APIs, 4 different apps, it is completely overwhelming. Even with a pre-built clone, how do I prioritize what to build or launch first? I mean, without blowing my entire $50,000 budget before I even make a single delivery.
It's a great question, and our sources detail a very strict step-by-step strategy for this. Building a minimum viable product, or MVP.
An MVP.
Yes. It requires immense discipline. The first step is defining a rigid budget and conducting hyperlocal market research. But the golden rule is that you must launch with only the absolute essential functions required to execute a delivery.
Oh, okay, so you leave all the luxury features for later.
You have to. On day 1, your customer app needs a product catalog and a secure checkout. Your store app needs order alerts. Your rider app needs basic GPS routing.
Keep it simple.
Exactly. You do not need to launch with an intricate loyalty rewards program or multilingual voice search or an advanced AI chatbot.
because those just drain the budget.
Right. Those features are expensive and time-consuming to configure. The goal of the MVP is just to prove that your real-world physical logistics, your warehouse packing speed, and your riders can actually hit that 10-minute mark.
You have to prove the concept before you buy the upgrades.
Exactly. Once you establish that baseline and you start generating actual revenue and building a loyal customer base, then you take those profits and reinvest them to activate the advanced features.
Like the subscription models we talked about earlier.
Yes. You add the subscriptions and the voice search to increase retention later. It de-risks the entire launch process.
That is incredibly smart. Well, we have covered some incredible ground today. We started by looking at how Zepto used predictive AI and hidden dark stores to turn a basic grocery run into a $500 million revenue engine.
A massive achievement in operations.
Yeah, and we explored how they are extracting massive value through subscriptions and supplier commissions, even when they don't hold the largest market share.
Quality over quantity of users.
Exactly. And finally, we unpacked how software developers have taken that exact digital nervous system, the 4 apps, the APIs, and packaged it into a $10,000 to $50,000 clone script, allowing anyone with enough operational grit to enter the quick commerce space.
Which really proves that the bottleneck is no longer the technology.
Right.
The software is totally accessible now. The true differentiator is operational excellence and understanding exactly what your local neighborhood needs in 10 minutes or less.
Which leaves me with a final provocative thought I want you, the listener, to mull over. If developers have successfully cloned the digital infrastructure of a near billion-dollar quick commerce grocery empire and made it so affordable that a local entrepreneur can just buy it, what happens when we apply this 10-minute delivery model beyond just snacks and produce?
That's the real question.
Right. Think about it. The nervous system is already built. The API handshakes work. The route optimization exists. Imagine a world where you spill coffee on your shirt right before a massive presentation, and you tap a screen to have a fresh dress shirt delivered to your office in 10 minutes.
It's entirely possible.
Or imagine you are a plumber under a sink fixing a burst pipe, and you realize you are missing a highly specific valve. A writer brings it to the job site before the water even finishes draining.
That would change trades completely.
It would. Or, perhaps most profoundly, imagine a world where vital medical supplies like an inhaler, an EpiPen, or a specific dose of insulin are optimized for 10-minute doorstep delivery in an emergency.
The infrastructure is there.
Exactly. The digital machinery behind the magic is already here. It is just sitting there perfectly coded, waiting for the next innovator to hit launch. So the next time you tap your screen and that snack arrives before you even finish prepping dinner, remember, you aren't just looking at a bag of chips. You are looking at the foundational blueprint for the future of physical logistics.